So this is the reason why I'm switching to carbs. Now, I've spent ages trying to sort this out and I just can't get anywhere. At least carbs, I understand. So now all the fuel tank stuff's done, we can start looking at why it runs so bad. So basically, when I tried to solder the fuel tank in the car, so it didn't blow up, we put some water in it. Anyway, it's safe to say that we couldn't get it all out, so it seems to be everywhere. Right. Pop that off. Let's start by getting rid of the intake pipe. Disconnect the cold start injector. Then I'm going to pull the fuel rail off and the injectors out. Bye bye knuckle. So the warm-up regulator is down there, and I know that's a very common problem on these engines. So I'm going to try and get that off as well. Pulling the auxiliary air valve out of the way. Just need to get the coils out of the way. That's the warm-up regulator out. I made this little adapter for my slide hammer to get the injectors out. Pop the vacuum advance off for the distributor. Start doing the old fanny mould. Right, and buried down there, you got this support. Aha! Ta-da! I've seen some weird shaped coolant pipes in my life, but what is that? So I'm cutting out the head side of the inlet manifold flange here on the old Bridgeport CNC. So I feel like I do things a very old school way. I'm putting some DCOEs on this, but I've made a prototype flange and I made that first, and then I used that to make a CAD drawing. I think most people would prototype it the other way around, but a pair of these on here, get some warps going, maybe it'll run a bit better. Now side draft Webbers and Solex, like I'm using, need to be fairly level. So check multiple points on the car, it's about half a degree out. So use this little bad boy we've got 46, 47 degrees. So what I can then do is cut the tube half of that angle here, half the other side. Get that nice and square. Try and get the fuel line off the fuel filter here. And down here I guess is what is the return line. I haven't got the patience for that. I'm not reusing it anyway. Bye bye. So I had to remove the header tank, expanding wall, whatever you want to call it, because it was attached with this big funky bracket to this whole mess. But at least I thought that was disconnected. Oh, there's a plug. So now I'm cutting the tubes to the right angle and then machining the carb side of the inlet manifold flange. So the angled tubes will sit on the flanges like that. A little bit of a mock-up. After I welded it all together, I had to mill the faces flat because they'd warped slightly from obviously the heat of the welding. So I made these little plugs to blank off the injector ports there. Obviously they're not needed because I'm converted to carbs. Just put a little bit of sealant on there. Try and help that seal on the threads. So I've got the first one in already, just to make sure they fit. They're a bit on the tight side, but they fit, so being a bit tight is probably better to help them seal. I'm starting to mock up the throttle linkage here. I'm going to try and use the standard throttle cable from the 924. So the 924 has two fuel pumps for some reason. One here, one in the tank there. We're going to get rid of both of them. Disconnect the wires. I've already drained the fuel tank, so hopefully it doesn't leak on me. Oh, look at that. That's not supposed to happen, that's the threaded insert out of the tank. Oh, not reusing any of this. I got this drill tapped and bolted on. Obviously I need some short bolts, but I want to move this focus, this, to the centre. So I'm going to chop that off along there, weld it back on. I think I'm going to put the fuel pump up here, something like that. So I got this cheap rib nut tool. I think it was like 15 quid for this kit. Pop one of those in. Now I did make some proper inlet manifold gaskets out of some nice gasket material, but I left them at work and I'm being pretty impatient, so I'm going to use this pizza box. I think that turned out not bad.